Welcome back. Episode 5, right? It's 5.
Yep. See,
On the pod. Timmy is, I don't know, doing something.
he's doing life stuff right now.
Yeah, he claims that none of us have lives, but so I guess he'll be on here in like 15 minutes or so. But interesting week of football last week, but kind of a better week coming up. I would assume with 3 ranked matchups. One of them that feels really odd that it's a ranked matchup, but in that USF Miami game, especially since I'm not really expecting ranked matchups to have random numbers well over 2 touchdowns, but yeah, so kind of we can waste time a little bit while we're waiting for Timmy, but the thing that I was talking to y'all about is just takes from the first 2 weeks of football, whether they're correct, overreactions, whether they're just what you feel. The first one that I saw is Oklahoma is a national title contender.
No shot.
Overreaction. Big time overreaction. I don't think a win over Michigan, even as good as Mateer looked, and especially like his improvisational skills against Michigan were really, really good. And he was able to extend plays, make things happen. It's a word. You can check. It's a word. But I don't think that warrants a national championship contender pick for sure.
If you had said playoff, I probably would have given it to you. But yeah, no national.
I'm kind of putting maybe not national title contender, but playoff. But if you look at their schedule, it still I think is a tough reach.
I think they're better than I thought they were going to be. So I think I'm more confidence in their offense. Honestly, after the Michigan game, more confidence in their defense than I did at the beginning of the year. So I mean, I think I have more confidence winning some of those games that I didn't think that they'd win at the beginning of the year because I didn't think their defense would be good enough to stand tall in the SEC.
They do seem to have a recipe for success as well, at least when you look at the structure of their program right now. They've got a QB that's been with an offensive coordinator for the past 3 years between Washington State and now at Oklahoma. And the two of them get along really well. They know what they want to run every single down, every single series. They know how to game plan for tough matchups like Michigan. And then like Venables is a defensive minded coach, so it pairs really well to have that kind of chemistry and the offense on the offensive side of the ball, and then Venables just kind of taking over and making things happen with their defense. So I think it'll be a fun team to watch throughout the rest of the year. I can definitely see them being like in the playoff hunt come week 10, week 11. But I'm not sold on the national championship contender just quite yet.
And then the other thing is just like a little bit is who would you have as the favorite for the Heisman right now? Would it be Mateer or would it be Nussmeier?
I think Nussmeier has a better. I mean, it's so tough. I mean, they've only played 2 games. I think Nussmeier has a better win, so I would still say him. And he's my Heisman pick. Oh, I'm biased.
That's fair. Yeah, my Heisman pick apparently is a bum. Didn't do a damn thing over this past 8 months since we last seen him play. Didn't work out. Didn't make any throws to receivers in the offseason. Just absolutely.
His number one target's been hurt. Antonio Williams is back this weekend. Just give him a game.
Is he actually?
I think he's supposed to be back this weekend. He was on the depth chart.
What are those random numbers saying? What are those random numbers saying?
Could be important.
But yeah, I mean, I think Mateer looked better in that game against Michigan than Nussmeier did versus Clemson. That is the only reason.
Sure you did. I'm sure you did, Smith.
Well, okay. Well, whose defense do you think is better, Clemson's or Michigan? Because I think they're pretty comparable.
I would have said Clemson's personally.
I was going to go Oklahoma. I mean, not Oklahoma. Sorry. Rewind. Clemson. Sorry. Got in the wrong mindset there.
But
no, sorry, I got the game. No, I know. I got to comparing Venables because Clemson ties. So I got a little confused. Don't.
So we both say Clemson though. We both say Clemson.
Clemson.
Okay.
Clemson.
Well, and if I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I think that Mateer did more to go win that game for Oklahoma than Nussmeier did to go win that game for LSU. Like, I feel like Nussmeier just did what he needed to do, and like he played well. I'm not taking anything away from that.
I'll say that I think both their teams' defenses won the game, but I think Nussmeier played just as. I mean,
I think
it's
Mateer
tough.
played. I think Mateer, like, yes, their defense was absolutely phenomenal in that Oklahoma-Michigan game. I think Mateer won them that game with the way that he
I
played.
agree. That's what the only reason that I would lean Mateer, and also just the fact that LSU didn't look great last week. But
I mean, they didn't look terrible.
If you were sitting me down and I had to pick a Heisman out of like 5-6 group of guys, and Mateer and Nussmeier are both on the list, I don't think I'm picking Mateer or Nussmeier right now, though.
who are you picking?
Personally, I'm a big Jalen Daniels fan.
Oh my god!
I'm a huge Jalen Daniels.
They're not gonna win enough games.
They're gonna win enough games. All right.
They got it.
They're
I mean,
the Big 12 is just not
the lowest record of a
fun,
Heisman
but
is
it
like
is.
winning
They've
9
lost
games.
stupid numbers. I don't care. If
They
they
literally
lost
lost
I
their
don't-
one big game against
don't
the SEC
care.
team. They
I don't
lost it.
care. I don't care. When you put up 4 touchdowns against Wagner, you can do whatever you want. All right.
Okay, next take, and this one's a little interesting for me because it's a team that I had before the season being pretty good, and it's Florida doesn't make a bowl game. And before you see, I hear your reactions. I want to tell you. So they have a loss. They have one loss, and I want to tell you their next 6 games on their schedule.
Yep. Looking at it right now.
At Miami, home against Texas, at Texas A&M, home against Mississippi State, in Jacksonville against Florida, and then they go to Ole Miss and have Florida State left on the schedule.
I mean, I have them losing this week. I think they can beat Miami. No shot against Texas. Texas A&M, debatable. They beat Mississippi State. No shot against Georgia. They can beat Kentucky.
They should beat Kentucky.
They can beat Ole Miss. Lost to Tennessee. So what is that?
So
this is
That's 1, 2. Let's say we'll give them the Miami win and a lot. We'll split the Miami and Texas A&M.
Okay. That's fair.
So what does that put them?
That's
2 and
3
2.
losses, 4 losses Georgia, 5
3.
losses Tennessee. So that would put them at 6 losses. That would put them at 5 and 6 going into that game against Florida State.
Wow.
That's a
spot on take.
Yeah, that's a good take. Wow.
That's what I'm saying. Is that
to me personally, I still think DJ Lagway is good enough that he will find ways to get them to 6 wins in a bowl game.
Okay.
But I think it's a lot closer than I thought it was.
Yeah, that was originally what I thought too, is because I looked at this and I was like, this is a team that before the year I thought had a chance to win 9 games. Yeah. Like they get Texas at home. Like I'm not saying I'm expecting them to win that game, but it's not at home with DJ Lagway. I feel like that's a winnable game. And now I'm looking at the schedule and I'm like, okay, they got to go to LSU, to Miami, who has looked way better than I thought they would look. Agreed. To A&M, who I guess we're going to kind of find a little bit more out about A&M this week, going on the road to Notre Dame.
Yep.
And then you play a neutral site game against Georgia, and then you go to Ole Miss, and then you play Tennessee and Florida State to end the year. I mean, there's really only 2 games on the schedule that I'm like, okay, yeah, like they should 100% win
this game. Welcome, Timmy. Oh, he's gone again.
How do I change this?
Does it still?
So I think it was a take that I originally looked at and was like, there is just no way. And now I'm looking at it and I'm like, it's very possible that they lose 7 games.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm I think it's a good take. I actually do, now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. And then the last take that I was going to talk to you all about, and I will refrain my comments, is Clemson done? Are they done? Like I'm not saying like like ACC done, like obviously I still think they have a chance, but are they like firmly out of minds for like national championship contender?
It's hard for them to be in national championship contention after struggling mightily with Troy in the first half. Timmy, what do you think about this?
I think that Clemson is
take?
actually so bad this year. Next topic.
Would you like?
I mean, that was Smitty. That was a bad game.
It was brutal.
It was a bad game. I don't disagree. But that, by the way,
But like,
the last 2 times that we've played Troy, we've been losing at halftime. That's the 3rd time in a row that we've played Troy that we've been losing at halftime. And the other 2 of the other years we went on.
That hurts your point.
What
Like,
happened
they should
those
be
last
good.
2 seasons that you played Troy?
We won the national championship.
In
Oh.
both?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Well,
Oh, we're fucking back, baby. My natty chip. Pick is fucking win
That's
that
not-
bitch. Let's
In,
go.
in,
we can all say that's not happening. Like,
in
retard
2016,
Klubnik at quarterback.
in 2016, Deshaun Watson threw 4 picks against Troy, and we were losing at halftime, and ended up winning 30-24. It came down to an onside kick.
I mean, I still think you have a shot. I think Dabo's good enough. I think your defense is good enough to like kind of change the tide. I think you
It
have a
all
big
comes
game
down to
this
this
week.
weekend. It really does.
Are you guys at home this weekend?
At Georgia Tech.
No, they're at Georgia Tech.
I wish I knew that when I made my picks. I'll keep Clemson though. We'll get to that later.
You pick,
I pick Clemson,
bro.
We'll get to that later though. I mean, we could talk about that Michigan-Oklahoma game a little bit more now that Timmy's here too, if we want. Kind of recapping last week. Yeah, I think to me the big storyline was Oklahoma got pressure on the quarterback, Bryce Underwood, and the Michigan offense couldn't get anything going because of that. I think that's kind of what the game.
The story's got to be Oklahoma's defense, right?
Yeah. I mean, their defense played so well. They got pressure on the quarterback all night long. Michigan's O-line was terrible. I don't think Michigan's play calling was great either. A lot of people did not like the scheme that they came out with. They kind of saw it as a lot of last year's problems coming back, and with a new quarterback that you're paying so much more money to. And it just has a lot more talent than you had last year at that position. Like you have to like let him go. I feel like a little bit.
Paying the kid to throw the ball, and then you didn't want to let the kid throw the ball.
They're not throwing the ball. It just looked a lot like their offense last year, in my opinion.
Also, real quick, I'm going to fact check myself. It was not both years that we won the national championship. Sorry.
Only one?
No.
Only
Only one?
2016. The other year we won the Orange Bowl.
No. No.
Ben's natty pick is going.
No.
But yeah, that was the story of that game for me.
Yeah. I just think the story for so long has been like if Oklahoma with the defense would be terrifying, like back when they had all those quarterbacks and they were so good. And then I feel like the last couple of years under Venables, it's been like, okay, like I think we just got to give them a couple of years to get the talent back on the offensive side after everything, like mass exodus after Lincoln Riley kind of left in the middle of the night. Yeah. So I think this Oklahoma team can be pretty scary just because I think Mateer is a good player. I think he's probably the best quarterback they've had, definitely since Brent Venables has been there. And if the defense is competing at that high of a level, schedule just isn't nice. But I think the takeaway for me from that game was that Oklahoma is a lot better than I kind of even anticipated. I didn't think that they were going to completely shut Michigan down like that, even though I had faith in the defense. But
yeah, I agree.
It was impressive to me. Schedule's a little scary though.
Yeah, it is. Another big game was the Iowa State game. Ben Rocco Becht.
Rocco Becht and the boys, baby. Cyclones, Big 12 champs incoming.
Now that everybody else in the Big 12 is losing.
Yeah. Well, Arizona State's losses, I feel like. I mean, it's a bad loss, bad way to lose. Bad. But they played
tough break.
They played well. I mean, they are not well, but like they played good. Like I think they still have a shot to win the Big 12.
They 100% have a shot to win the Big 12.
Yeah,
but that loss definitely hurts them in the grand scheme of
Yeah.
the way that people see their program this year, I would say.
I agree
Like
with that.
Mississippi State's not a top tier SEC team this year.
Yeah.
Like losing that game kind of like just enforces the disparity between the SEC and everybody else, especially the Big 12, and how at least we've been talking about it on this podcast where we kind of just like throw them to the side half the time, where they're just like it's fun to watch Big 12 play each other, but when Big 12 teams play SEC teams, most of the time it doesn't go their way.
It's gonna be a loss.
Yeah, because I don't think Mississippi State is going to win a game in the SEC this year.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there's they go Tennessee at home, at Texas A&M, at Florida, Texas at home, at Arkansas, Georgia at home, at Missouri, and then they get Ole Miss at home.
Yeah.
So all their games against teams that I think they theoretically have a chance to beat are on the road. Like they go to Arkansas, like
To Florida.
Go to Florida, and then every other team that they play at home is ranked.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. I mean, for me, like Arizona, like Mississippi State's tough place to play. Arizona State played well. They came out very slow, got back in the game. Kenny Dillingham talked about that call like on the last second. Like he was saying he was playing to win, like wanted to bring the pressure, and it ended up biting him in the butt. But like, I mean, I still think Arizona State's a good team. But back to that Iowa State game. I mean, the ending of that game with Gus Johnson was electric. Like that clip going around on Twitter was electric. It was pretty sick. But I mean, they've won 2 rivalry games in the first 3 weeks of the season. I get Kansas State's pretty bad now, but it was a big win when it happened. This is, I mean, I think a big win. Iowa's better this year. Their offense is better this year, and they kind of held them in check. By the way, the under did hit in that game. Just want to throw that out there. But yeah. So
No,
and that streak stays alive where the away team.
No, they were.
No, Iowa State was at home.
Iowa State, yeah.
I was gonna say there was some other like just cool like college football stuff that happened in that game. Like I didn't realize something I didn't know is that one of the loudest renditions of Sweet Caroline I've ever heard in my life is played every single game after that Iowa State game, which was kind of cool. Like as other schools sing the alma mater and they sing Sweet Caroline. Like it was kind of funny, but it was kind of cool. It's like the Bills playing Mr. Brightside after their wins.
What a game that was, but that's different topic. Different sport. Yeah, different sport.
We can talk about Illinois and Duke.
I feel like we can talk about that game, or we can talk about USF.
Yeah, let's talk about USF. They're a good football.
We can hit USF first, but we're coming back around to Illinois and Duke because that was a brutal showing for the Blue Devils. But yeah, USF is fun. 2 ranked matchups or 2 ranked.
Yeah,
wins.
but are we actually counting Boise State?
What was there a number next to their name?
I mean, it was
on that scoreboard.
I mean, yeah, but Boise State, I think it became really evident after that game that how big of a loss Ashton Genty was. I'm not saying that it's still not a decent win. Obviously, they've been a really good Group of 5 team for a long time, but
100%. And when you watch, at least for me, when I was watching that Florida game, Florida did everything in their power to lose. Like they played terrible, atrocious, and it was very clear that USF didn't have the athletic ability to the athletic talent to keep up with a full SEC schedule, but they ran into a game where Florida just played bad and they capitalized on it, and kudos to them. They went out and made it happen, got themselves the number 18 spot in the AP poll this week, which is really, really cool for them. But I think they're going to run into Hard Rock, and they might get
I think their quarterback
race.
I think they'll get boat raced.
I mean, I think their quarterback gives him a shot. He's pretty good. He's got a lot of talent. But back to them getting that spot in the AP poll, y'all see that
Oh my goodness
female
gracious.
press member who has an AP vote.
Yeah.
And what she did.
Oh my God.
I mean,
She
that's
Florida
yeah,
go up too, right?
She had
put
Florida,
Florida up 2 spots and left UCF or USF unranked.
Yep.
Like,
and
just
like
brutal.
also like not to talk like Clemson's game was bad, but like the fact that she moved Florida up 2 spots losing and then moved Clemson from like 8 to like 23, like all the way back behind Florida. That and like
She did.
there
I
was like
didn't even-
multiple
I mean,
teams that won that ended up
It's
getting
also
moved.
just like her saying like, oh, like my the system, like my vote doesn't matter, so who really cares? Like, you deserve to not have a vote if you think that
She's
way.
not the only one either. I saw
Crazy.
another
It's
one
crazy.
on Twitter about a longtime AP voter that moved Notre Dame from unranked in his previous poll to number 8 after they didn't play. And it was just like, why? Like, why one, is Notre Dame not already in your poll?
That's
2,
insane.
why would you put them in if they didn't play a game that week?
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I was a little surprised with the AP poll in general, moving Florida all the way out. Like if you're gonna value UCF for that win and you're gonna give them credit for that win and rank them, then I
You
don't
give a
see
little bit of
why
credit
Florida
for
shouldn't be. I mean, then they lost to a ranked team, like
Yeah.
and
They
then
lost,
I,
they
then
lost to a ranked team with 2 ranked wins. That's what the AP
so then
poll
you-
should be saying, but it's not. So
yeah,
it's
so I
definitely
feel
a little bit
like,
of
I feel like
flaws
Florida
with
should
them.
have been.
That's why the coaches poll is so valuable to a lot of analysts, is because coaches actually know what they're talking about versus
I feel like Florida should have been somewhere in that 20 to 25 range, somewhere behind USF. But
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
guess that's not voting on the AP poll.
I personally, I don't know how y'all feel about this, and I understand it's hard to not rank a team that just won 2 ranked games. I think this matchup between USF and Miami would be better if USF wasn't ranked, because I think it'd give them a little more of a chip on their shoulder, a little bit more of locker room talk, a little bit more drive, motivation.
Maybe, but I'm thinking less about the motivation
than to see them ranked in this.
Yeah,
matchup.
but you have to rank them.
No, you absolutely have to rank them. But the AP voters also apparently suck at their job. So what if they just didn't rank them?
Yeah.
I'm actually giving less thought to the motivation that USF has, because I think their motivation is still going to be there. I mean, they're ranked, but like you get a chance to go play at Miami, like now they think that they're good.
I don't even think they need motivation with how much momentum they have.
Maybe you're right, but I think the worst part about them being ranked is the fuel it gives Miami. It's because now Miami's like, oh, like we're just going to steal a ranked win.
Yeah,
that's
true.
In a game that we thought that like was just going to be like
big for their resume as well.
If like now you give Miami,
if they come down,
wins, and then if they beat Florida, they got 3 ranked wins before ACC play starts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If they come down the ACC schedule and they end up dropping a game here or there, they still put themselves in a phenomenal position to make a CFP if they end up having this USF game as a ranked win.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's wild that you could realistically make an argument that if Miami wins these next 2 weeks, if they both games at home, they beat USF and they beat Florida, and they do it convincingly, you could very easily make the argument that they should be a top 5 team, like not top 5, but like top team in the country. Like they could be. That is probably the best resume in the country.
A bye. They're you could say that they're like.
I mean, they're already 5.
Top 4 range. Yeah.
But I mean, I think it puts them ahead of everybody except from maybe Ohio State, maybe LSU.
Definitely, I think they're still behind LSU. I think they're behind Ohio State. I mean, I think they'd be probably like 5th.
I mean, they're 5 right now. But like, why?
Right?
They're 5.
Miami?
Oh, they're
5 right now.
Yeah. Wow.
But like, why are they behind? Like who's out of 3 and 4 are Penn State and.
Go ahead and say it.
It's Oregon.
Go ahead and say it. Go ahead and say something stupid.
But like all I'm saying is Oregon has looked incredible. I'm not saying they haven't. And I think Oregon is a top 5 team in the country. But Miami's resume right now, if they win those 2 games, will be better than Oregon's.
Nope.
Or unless when does Oregon play Penn State?
Nope.
2 weeks.
So that's the same weekend as the 4 game. So theoretically, after that, I would say Oregon has a better resume because I think a win at Penn State is better than any of Miami's wins.
They already do. They've given up 16 points all year, and they've scored 115,
Do some math here, Timmy.
I think.
Attaboy.
They're winning
Wow.
115 to 16.
No.
Troy scored, I think it's 59 to 13, and then 69 to 3. So it might, I don't know.
59 and 69 don't equal 115.
I meant 56.
Oh,
56.
that's right.
Yeah. Math man from Mathland out here.
Speaking
Yeah, but
of
they're winning
Warcraft,
115 to 16. Clemson gave up 16 points to Troy in the first half of a home game. So I don't want to hear you say anything about, their resume's not good enough. All right? So
I can't even go and say now that Oregon's played Montana State and Oklahoma State because it's Troy. You gave up 16 points.
Also, you're gonna give me crap for this. You're gonna give me crap for this shit. Who did Oregon almost lose to last year? Idaho.
they didn't lose.
Last year,
They lost
no
one game.
bro.
They lost one
No
game.
pass games, bro.
Yeah, but he's talking on the
They lost.
Clemson didn't lose.
They quite literally lost to LSU and almost lost to Troy. They're 1-1.
Well, we did not almost lose to Troy, by the way.
I would
That
say
was a
you almost
double-digit
lost
game and going into the fourth quarter.
to Troy. It should be a triple-digit game.
Speaking of that Oregon game, though, Timmy, Dan Lanning's speech,
Electric.
incredible.
I wanted to run through a wall.
Oh my god!
But yeah, Dante Moore is the nice balls in the country. Decoria Moore,
Fire. Sadiq
Good.
Bey, isn't that his name too?
Kenyan Sadiq. Sadiq Bey is in the NBA, but yeah,
Oh
close.
yeah. You're right.
Close.
I got confused. But that guy's massive. That guy's massive.
Yeah, he's really good.
He threw
His
a
shoulders.
sand.
You see, like, yeah.
huge, bro. Yeah. But yeah, that was a fire game.
That was
You know what else was a very
Yeah.
good game? Baylor SMU game. Overtime.
Dude, that game.
Baylor
was-
got
they were up.
out
They were up
by
what,
that ref
14.
getting
They were up
in
14
Kevin
with
Jennings
5 minutes
way.
left. I
Yeah.
turned the game
Yeah,
off.
I remember when I
whatever.
looked. I saw it on the bottom of my TV, like saw the score bug, and it was like
It was like double
SMU was
overtime.
up a touchdown with like 38 seconds left, and I was
Not
like,
even that. They were up 2 touchdowns with about 4 or 5 minutes left.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this game's like got to be over. Like we weren't even watching it anymore, and then we ended up turning it on for overtime.
It was
I just saw the
sick. It
score
was
bug on the
sick.
bottom say it was 45-45, and I was like, this has got to be a joke.
Maybe
was
Baylor's like a team to watch this year just out of like entertainment.
Sawyer
Just, like,
Robinson-
those two games,
Sawyer
like,
Robertson
like a
is
fucking man.
legit.
Big-
Sawyer
He's good.
Robinson's
Oh,
legit.
dude, his stat line was crazy. He's just like a fun. They're like a fun, frisky team. They're probably not going to do much, but they're just going to upset teams
Yeah.
randomly.
Well, yeah, but the thing is that in the Big 12, I don't think any of those are upsets. There's that's just such a
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Fair
I don't
point,
know
fair point.
what those random lines are going to be, but Baylor random lines in the Big 12 might be
Baylor random team
Yeah.
totals.
yeah, through the roof.
Yeah. If you give me a Iowa State Baylor game,
Through the roof.
I don't care if the random number 75. I'm hammering it, bro.
just
I
so
mean-
much fun to watch for too.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's probably about it. From
No,
last week,
we're not.
right?
We're not skipping it over. We're gonna talk a little bit about Illinois and Duke. Illinois looked.
No, they didn't. No.
They looked.
No,
Hold
they
on.
didn't.
Hold on.
They looked.
Can I
mid.
say what I want to say?
They looked.
Brandon,
looked
we're
fun.
gonna give you your moment like we gave Ben his moment
They
last
looked
week.
mid.
Just go
Illinois
ahead.
looked fun. They looked like a team that could make a little bit of noise in the Big Ten if things fall the right way.
wrong.
Well, maybe instead of telling me that I'm wrong, how about you go tell Manny Diaz that his entire offensive scheme is wrong because
No,
he'll suck.
that's the offense. Offense didn't lose that game. Actually, take that
You-
back. Take that back.
yeah.
Take that back. Take
Yeah.
that back. Bad statement there. Penalties and offensive turnovers lost
Five
the
of
game.
them.
Bro,
Five
like,
of them.
if you take if
Take
you're
care of the ball one time.
bro, shut up. Thanks. Bro, if you look at the first half of that game and like Manny Diaz, I want to know what Manny Diaz said in the locker room, because if they come out in the second half and they don't turn the ball over a single time, not like they could have bad drives, whatever. If they don't turn a ball over a single time that second half, they win that game. But because you had a bunch of bad turnovers in the first half and you're still right in that game because your defense played out of its mind in the first half. except for some bad penalties, and they still kept them within range. I think it was a 1 or 2 point game going into halftime. You don't turn the ball over the second half, I think they win that game. But yes, the turnovers and the penalties. There was one really bad penalty on Manny Diaz with the special teams, like 2 jersey numbers, same jersey numbers on the field at the same time. Give them another possession. They ended up scoring on that possession. And then, the turnovers were deadly. It was just very disappointing because I think they were in that game at halftime, and then the way they came out in the second half and then just absolutely gave Illinois the game and then just ended up getting demolished was brutal to watch. Nice dog, Timmy.
Thanks. Not my dog.
Timmy, whose house are you in?
My neighbor's house.
But yeah, anything else on last week before we get into this week?
I mean, do we want to talk about how, this is not, I don't need to talk about, do we want to talk about how bad Clemson looked? Because I agree.
No, we don't.
We've already established that.
We really don't.
Terrible. But apparently, playing Troy really close is a recipe for success.
Bounce back games, Smitty. Bounce back games, Smitty. I need you guys to win.
It's crazy because I'm picking against them because I have so much faith in Haynes King. But
I don't think Haynes King's going to be able to run the ball very much. That's
I don't think Haynes King's going to be able to run the ball.
We'll find out.
He hasn't practiced.
I don't care.
He doesn't need to. It's
matter.
Clemson.
All right, since we're already on one of next week's games, we can start next week. I think biggest game on the slate next week. Georgia goes to Tennessee.
College game day.
Yep. I'm the outlier here. I'm all over Tennessee.
I mean, I feel like this it could be a toss up. Yeah.
I think if there's a year that Tennessee has the team to beat Georgia, it's this year.
Yeah,
I
don't
know about Georgia's offense yet.
That's
they
the thing.
haven't played anybody where I'm whatever that I can look at their offensive numbers and be like, oh, this were really good numbers against a really good defense, or even an okay defense. They've played nobody. Marshall, I don't even know who they played last week. Yeah,
so they only put up 28 points.
I don't know about Gunnar Stockton really. So,
but Kirby Smart's always going to have a solid defensive squad.
Legit, yeah.
On the flip side of that, I really like Joey Aguilar and the way that he's slinging the rock.
Yeah.
I mean, that kid can play some football. I think for me, I'm picking Georgia in this game because I'm picking Kirby Smart to find a way to win versus picking Josh Heupel to find a way to win.
I'm picking Georgia almost not entirely, but almost simply based on the fact that Tennessee has not shown me that even with all these good teams that they had recently that they can beat Georgia. That's a big thing.
I'm kind of on board with both of things. It's Kirby Smart and then the lack of corners for Tennessee right now. Jamar McCoy is arguably the best corner in the country. He's not going to be there. The second cornerback, don't remember his name, also very good. They're both going to be in the league, and they're just not playing. So I wouldn't be surprised if Tennessee can pull it off. It is a home game at Neyland, but I mean, I'm just going to go with Georgia. So that's a night game, right?
Yeah, I believe yes.
Should be, yeah. Awesome sauce.
I couldn't remember if it was 3:30 or night game.
I can check.
I believe
it should be a night game.
It's 3:30.
Oh, it's 3:30.
What?
It sucks.
I think Notre Dame Texas A&M is the night game.
But the 3:30,
that's the 7:30. There's also another big time in-state rivalry matchup. That's a 7:00 kickoff.
I don't want to watch the 3:30. I don't want to watch a 3:30 SEC game if it's not on CBS.
Not on CBS. I was about to say the same thing.
It doesn't have. Dude, I was watching the Oregon, Oklahoma State. Obviously, I'm an Oregon fan. I want to watch Oregon, but that being on CBS with that song and those announcers, it just isn't right.
It just doesn't feel right. You're right. Yeah. You're right, Smitty.
It feels like I'm watching the Iron Bowl or something.
Yeah, the Florida LSU game is the night game on ABC.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad. I'm cool with that.
I wonder what game, because does that mean Herbie and Chris Fowler aren't going to call the Georgia game?
Probably not.
They're definitely calling either the Texas A&M game. Oh wait, no, that's on NBC.
Games on NBC.
They're always night games.
So they're definitely calling the Florida LSU game.
Yeah,
that feels so wrong.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, do we want to dive into either of those games? Probably the Texas A&M game. That's the other or one of the other ranked matchups.
Yeah.
I think Notre Dame
I
being at
say, I
home
say the
is a
Texas A&M Notre Dame game.
yeah. I
Big
think
thing
that
for me is
so.
Jeremiah Love has got to touch the ball more. He just has to.
I think I have more confidence in them now, even after that loss, because I think CJ Carr looked good enough to win games, especially down the stretch. But yeah, I think you're exactly right. Jeremiah Love has to run the ball more. Their offensive line has to be better run blocking, and they got to. Or actually, their offensive line just has to be better in total. They were terrible. But yeah, they got to run the ball and get him some touches.
I'm going with Texas A&M in this one. I really like the way that Elko's got the boys playing to start the year. KC Concepcion absolutely torched UNC.
Their wide receivers
last year,
good.
so
Texas A&M's wide receivers.
he's doing the same thing in the SEC now, which is good to see. So we're getting torched by SEC talent, not ACC talent. But I think it all hinges on whether or not, like you said, Jeremiah Love gets his touches or not. This game's going to be won on the ground for Notre Dame. Like CJ Carr, I think he can manage the offense really well. It'll be fun to see him in a home environment for the first time ever. See if that calms his nerves a little bit in the first half more than it did week 1 at Miami.
I think that
like it all hinges on Jeremiah Love for me, and I just don't know if Marcus Freeman's gonna be able to get him his touches second or third week, second game for them.
Yeah, I think honestly, you have something else to say about this game, Smitty?
I mean, I have Notre Dame simply because of kind of the same thing, just because I thought CJ Carr looked good. And I think they will get Jeremiah Love more touches.
I think the most fun game of the week is going to be the USF Miami game because for some reason I just think it's going to be a shootout. Like Miami's defense is good, but like I think their USF's quarterback can like squish points and make it like a fun game.
I'm just worried. It's just going to get out of hand, and USF isn't going to be able to get back in it.
I think they're going to come in the game with a lot of confidence, so it'll at least start like fun. Maybe a few drives won't go their way, and they'll start losing it. But I think it has the potential to be a really good game, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think across the board we have Miami there.
Yeah, I think we all do.
But
it's hard. It's hard to take them like 3 times. Like the luck or whatever you want to call it's got to run out at some point. And I also agree what we talked about earlier, where I just don't think Boise State was very good. So like I don't think that's it's a ranked win, but it's not as big as people are talking about it.
The next 2 big games that I kind of wanted to talk about, not big games, but I think 2 games that I think have a chance to be interesting. Not that I necessarily am picking an underdog to win either of these, but the Vanderbilt South Carolina game, just because. I mean, South Carolina, I don't know how much you guys paid attention to that game. Leonard Sellers is good, don't get me wrong, but their offensive line is so bad. And I watched some of that South Carolina game last week just because I looked and they were losing and it made me happy. But they kind of got bailed out by their special teams. Again, it was the second week in a row. They've had 3 punt returns for touchdowns in 2 weeks.
And that's little brother activity right there.
No, absolutely not.
I think the storylines around this game are pretty fun as well. I mean, there's they
both played a common opponent too, which is kind of interesting this early in the year.
Yeah, to have.
I think Vanderbilt looked better in that game.
I absolutely despise Diego.
I don't like him either. I don't like him, but I don't know. He's fun. Like just his mentality, just the way he holds himself and his mentality. It just makes some things exciting. That
I don't know what
if he was just a normal dude and had no emotion, nothing. Like I wouldn't care. I probably would forget Vandy had a football team, to be honest. So
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, I'm I'm picking South Carolina to win the game just because I think if it was at Vanderbilt or just not at South Carolina, like that would be different. But being at South Carolina and it is a night game, I just don't think that Vanderbilt can win it. But I will be pulling extremely hard for Vanderbilt.
Vandy did look good in that second half against VT. Something about VT in the second half against SEC opponents kind of just falling apart. But
yeah,
what was the other game, Spade?
The Florida LSU game. Just because I think Florida's going to be pissed. Like I think that this is a game that like they have I think that they have the talent to be able to match up. It's obviously at LSU, which does not help. I don't think they're going to win the game.
LSU, hardest place to play in the country.
I think I agree. I think Florida's going to be pissed. I think LSU's going to be a little bit pissed too because this is supposed to be a ranked matchup for them.
No, I don't.
I don't think that matters. I think they're pissed that they played bad last week.
I think they're more. Yeah, I'd agree. I think they're probably
if they had a good coach. If they had a good coach, I'd be more confident in their like ability to get motivated after a bad performance last week. But I hate Brian Kelly, and I don't think he's very good. So it doesn't give me a lot of confidence in like their ability to get motivated. Obviously, I still think they win. I think DJ Lagway keeps this closer than a lot of people think, though. After Florida's loss last week,
I agree, and I think like. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Like I said, I picked LSU. I think they're a really good team. I obviously watched them in person.
We need that, and it's getting cold.
No, it's coming back, but that was
Oh no! Me and Ben started him in fantasy this week. Sorry, viewers. Jaden Reed just scored a touchdown, but there's a holding penalty, and he's hurt. And me and Ben started him.
Jordan loves my fantasy quarterback. And I guess that he would have at least one passing touchdown.
Damn, it's not even his foot.
Well, going back to my LSU.
He's dead. Okay, sorry.
I think he just broke his collarbone.
But going back to my LSU point, it feels like there's been so many times where like people have been high on LSU, they've won a big game, they've done this stuff, and all of a sudden you look back like 3 weeks later, and all of a sudden they're losing a game they shouldn't lose. And this feels a little bit like a trap game. Now that everybody's like, oh, Florida's actually not that good because they just lost USF, and they're getting them at home, and they don't like they play well at home, and I just feel like it's a game that Florida has the talent to stick around, and I think DJ Lagway is good enough to give them a chance to win this game in the end.
I agree with that. I do kind of see it as a trap game, but not a big enough trap game for a loss, if that makes sense. I think for a scare, 100%.
Yeah, I think being at home will kind of.
I think they win the game. I just don't think Florida's like I just don't think Florida's like on their level like at all, like or even close enough to their level to like win the game, if that makes sense. But yeah. I also
win weeks exist, so
we can talk about the Georgia Tech Clemson game if you want to, Spay.
Okay,
we can talk about it. I mean, on the road, not really a big home field advantage, but on the road, it's a little.
This is a game that I said before the year that I was scared of this game, even when after assuming Clemson was going to play better than they did the first 2 weeks. That this was a game that scared me. I am interested to see what happens with Haynes King. Obviously, he's a very good player. He didn't play last week.
Do you think that was because they knew they could win and then they just have Clemson this week?
I mean, maybe, but it's also like if he is banged up, is he going to be able to run the ball 15 or 20 times like he's done in big games for them? Another question that I have. So
why they beat Colorado, in my opinion.
2 hours.
Yeah, his legs are why they beat Colorado. His legs were why they were in that game against Georgia last year. So that'll be interesting. The talent gap is obviously still there. I understand that Georgia Tech probably played better to start the year than Clemson has. That I don't necessarily disagree with that. But I think the talent gap's still there. I think Clemson's ability to stop the run will be huge, which they've been able to do pretty well the first 2 weeks. And so you're kind of looking for a bounce back, and kind of Clemson as a Clemson fan, Clemson kind of got everybody like right where they want them right now. Like I've loved that all the money's on Georgia Tech. That makes me so happy. And I want people to think Clemson's good, but like Clemson that seems to perform better for whatever reason when everybody talks about how shitty we are. So go ahead. talk about how shitty we are, and
Clemson against the
expecting us to win by-
world. It's
I'm
Clemson
expecting us
versus
to win
the
by 2
world.
touchdowns this week. Is my thought. Depending on the health of Haynes King. But
I do think
Depends
I
on
do
which
think-
team Cade Klubnik decides to throw the ball to. That's, I think, the really deciding factor.
See, but turnovers are like he's got one bad pick on the year. The other one was a tip ball.
he
As
has
a guy
two
that-
picks
Thrown it,
already.
he shouldn't have thrown. Threw a pick 6 last week. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage on the 4-yard line. So like I'll give you that, but maybe you'll look out for the tall D lineman.
But like the pick against LSU was bad. But you're looking at a guy that
Yeah.
in his career last year threw 36 touchdowns to 6 picks. So it's not like he's had an issue turning the ball over.
Yeah, I could do that if I played Pitt in Louisville every week too.
Well, how about you go throw 350 yards and 3 touchdowns against Texas?
Yeah, anyone could do that in garbage time. Yeah,
I can't even see what it is.
prayers up for Cade Klubnik. Nothing's wrong with him. He just sucks.
Smitty, I'll help you out here. I think it's a benefit for you and a good matchup that your strong suit on defense, at least in my opinion, from what I've seen, is your run defense, and Georgia's strong suit on offense is their run game. So I think that kind of helps you. I think your run defense is better than their run offense, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a scary game going on the road with how bad that we've looked, but I've seen Clemson play horrible against bad opponents early in the season.
I think you're right though that this is a spot where everybody is selling stock on Clemson, and then they just absolutely demolish them. I do think you're kind of right there. That's why I picked them this week. That I think everybody's too low on Clemson, and like honestly, I'd be more scared to pick Clemson if they just absolutely demolished Troy last week.
Yeah, because then
Which
you
sounds-
just like
Sounds.
I think as bad as the first half was against Troy, and it was bad. It was a very good, like dominant second half.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean,
they scored.
he had to get into him in the locker room.
Yeah.
So
And also it's not an excuse because you're still playing Troy, but like weird game. Like the game already starts off horrible. You give up a touchdown, then go 3 and out, and then you have an hour and a half rain delay to just like sit on that. Like like it is just a weird atmosphere, and then you come back out after the rain delay, and like half the stadium's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they win this week. That's me. I have belief for it. Last thing I want to talk about for this week, more of just a question. Do you guys think Bama has any trouble with Wisconsin?
No.
No. Do you think so?
Is it at Wisconsin?
No, it's at Bama.
That's right. It's at because last year they played at.
Bama has any trouble with Wisconsin?
No.
I do not.
I did look at that game and I went, ooh, and then I went, I don't think they have any trouble at all.
I don't.
Especially with how well
don't-
they played against ULM. Like I know it's ULM. Like
It doesn't even matter if you beat them that bad. Like
yeah, you put up you put up 70 points on them. Like you smoked them. Like that's gotta feel good going into the next week, especially for the offense. Plus their defense, like shut them down. It's gonna feel good. They're gonna be high, like riding high. I think they handle Wisconsin without much.
The other kind of Big Ten team to talk about that is kind of interesting. I think we've kind of gotten through most of the games that we wanted to talk about. That's kind of interesting is like Nebraska. Like how good do we think Nebraska is this year?
Nah, I think it's kind of like the year, like last year. Like I feel like they had a lot of hype last year. Started out the year pretty good, playing not great opponents, and then when they got into Big Ten play, were just very mid. And I think it'll be that way again, personally.
I don't think they're. I'm not saying like nationally competitive team, but I think it's a team that could. Looking at their schedule, which I looked at earlier and I couldn't remember. Like they kind of avoid the brunt of that conference. They play Penn State.
Yeah, I know they don't play Ohio State this year. I know,
and they don't play Oregon.
Yeah.
So they go to Penn State. Like that's a loss. But then like they get Michigan at home. They get I mean, Michigan State is not very good, but they get Michigan State at home. They get USC at home. Like, those are kind of their big names that I feel like on their schedule. Like, I could see this team very easily, like, somehow winning 10 games.
I hate USC, but they're kind of fun this year so far.
I hate USC. So
I think we circled that USC game, that USC Nebraska game, when we initially went over the Big Ten on the very first pod. I think we circled that game as being like a potential, like, look at this game when we get down to it. Like, check this out. It's like between either like a bubble team and a ranked team or two ranked teams.
Yeah, I mean, but theoretically, like, look at, like, let's just say, just hypothetically, they play like, I don't know, Holy Cross, I don't know, HCU. I can't even. It doesn't say the full name. It doesn't look like Holy Cross.
Houston Christian.
I think it's Houston Christian. So they'll win that game. Then they get Michigan at home. So maybe they win that game. I don't think they. I'm probably saying they don't, but like, say they do win that game. Well, then all of a sudden you go into a stretch. They play Michigan State at home, not very good. They go to Maryland, not very good. They go to Minnesota, not very good. Northwestern's bad. And then all of a sudden you're looking at that USC game, and Nebraska's undefeated at 8-0 going into a home game against USC. They win that game and then they beat UCLA, and what? Like, then people are going to start going crazy. Like, I think they're every team in their schedule is winnable, and with those fans, and then they go to Penn State. I think they probably.
Boy, would that be something for those Nebraska fans?
If they were undefeated going to Penn State,
that would be very fun. Like, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility, which is I think it's an interesting, with the way the schedule lines up this year, with Michigan looking as bad as they did last week.
Do you think if a Nebraska fan had work, but their team was undefeated going to play at Penn State, they'd probably like ask for work off and like try and go to that game?
Bro, they wouldn't even ask for work off. They just leave.
Other people should probably do that if their favorite team's playing at Penn State. Just not even listening. Just no.
Yeah, he's not paying attention.
You got free tickets to one of the biggest games.
We were saying that Nebraska fans would probably go to the game at Penn State and just like skip work if they had the chance to.
I can't just skip work. I wish I could.
You could. You might not have a job.
I could if I was there for like 2 years, not 2 months.
What a loser. All right.
Also, I found I didn't have free tickets. I had to buy the tickets, but
that does.
If I was able to go, I would buy the tickets. $500, I'd buy them.
That checks out. Last week on the pod, we promised a little bit of non D1 football talk, so we're gonna let Ben cook.
Let's go.
He's happy if you can't tell.
Let's go. All right, a couple big things from my neck of the woods. Division III football. Let's talk a little bit about Adrian College beating FCS Valparaiso. D3 over D1, big time win. Adrian College versus Valparaiso was basically just a bunch of white guys running around a 120-yard field. It was not a very high-scoring game.
Jane Reed's done.
I saw that.
There's literally no highlights from it, as far as I could tell from the media that I watched. But D3 over D1 is fun there. Another D3 storyline: the quarterback from John Carroll University set the Division III single game pass percentage record. He completed 95% of his passes. He was 25 for 26. And then,
that's insane, dude.
A win at Waynesburg.
Does anyone know what his one incomplete pass was?
No, I don't.
I hope it's a pick.
That would
then the ball just never.
I wish I knew what his stat line was. Like his whole stat line.
I could find it with John Carroll.
John Carroll, the top 25 program in Division III this year. Previously, the record for passing percentage in a game was held by a former John Carroll quarterback. So JCU has top 1 and 2 in that. Neither of their last names are easy to pronounce. The guy who set the record this past Saturday is Nick Simtimfelter.
Pretty good.
I think I did a decent job on that. That's spelled out over 15 letters for those of you.
They got a lot of weird names on here.
One that held the record before way back in 2008 was Mark Petruzziello.
You killed.
Yeah,
That was better.
yeah, no, that was
Nick Semt, whatever, quarterback grad student. He went to Bucknell, so he was D1. Barely smart guy. He's like 27.
Fun fact about Carroll:
25, 26, no interceptions, 301 yards, only 2 touchdowns.
That'll play.
Longest was 62 yards.
That'll play. Fun fact about John Carroll: they actually have a great lineage of like good quarterbacks that turn into good coaches in like NFL organizations. Patriots have had 4 coaches, I believe, from John Carroll, and our head scout right now is from John Carroll. He played quarterback at John Carroll. Just fun ball knowing fact.
Football school there. Football school
knowing fact.
We can I'd like to dive into a little bit of FCS talk. The big staple point for this week, number 3 in the FCS poll, Tarleton State. If you do like the ladder of wins, Tarleton State is technically better than Kansas State at this point in the year, because Tarleton owns a win over Army, and Army owns a win over Kansas State. And I'm sure we could go further down the rabbit hole once the season kind of fleshes out. But I bet we look back at the end of the year, and Tarleton is better than 112 FBS schools if you do the pyramid, the ladder of wins.
It's 112. That's you're put them in the top 25.
No. It's not saying they would actually beat those schools. I'm saying if you do like a win ladder.
Oh, we just got smoked. But he's okay. That's my quarterback.
Fancy
quarterback, not actually.
Jordan Love just absolutely
put his body on the line.
He just ate a hit, dude.
That was wild.
God.
Another big storyline from FCS this week. Number 6, Montana State, is 0-2. They lost on the road week 1 at Oregon, really bad. And then they just lost this past week. I think it was only a touchdown loss to South Dakota State, which is number 2 in the country. So, like, quality loss, but number 6 in the country, that's 0-2.
Hey, that white boy Timmy though from Montana State though, he cold.
That dude was good. He was like 5'9", 170. I think he had 10 catches, 120 yards, something like that.
He was nasty.
Yeah, he just kept getting the ball and he was making plays.
He's nasty.
Yeah.
The Patriots are going to draft him, I think. Something about him.
Something about him.
Something about him.
The only other noteworthy thing from FCS this weekend, or at least that I would like to talk about, we got a ranked matchup, number 16 North Dakota and number 5 Montana at Montana. So big game for the Grizzlies. That'll put them even higher in the rankings. But I think that'll be a fun one. That's 2 powerhouse FCS schools. A lot of history in Montana, a lot of history in North Dakota, South Dakota for FCS schools. A lot of championships between the 2 states. So it'll be a fun one to watch. It's pretty much the only FCS game that I care about this week, unless you want to go into like a rabbit hole. But I'm not going to do that.
I was about to say we don't know anything about FCS football like you. So that was good ball talk, though. Good ball talk. Oh boy.
Now get us going on your sport.
Okay. Nah. Some other fall sports storylines. Men's soccer both soccers have started. Men's soccer is kind of crazy this year. There's 5 ACC schools in the top 10 of the rankings right now. And then, North Carolina is just dominant on this list. You have the big schools of NC State and Duke on there. Those are the 2 big soccer schools for the most part, men's wise in North Carolina. UNC is not on it right now. Kind of surprising. But then I thought this is pretty cool. From 12 to 15 in the rankings, you have UNCG, Gardner-Webb, Duke, High Point. Ranked 12 through 15 in the rankings for men's soccer right now. That's a pretty cool storyline. What?
How about who's number 2? Even though they just lost.
Probably some shitty team that wears orange, if I had to guess. Would I be correct?
Yeah. Not shitty, but they wear orange.
Well, you just said they just lost. So
yeah, they lost to VCU 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Mark was really unhappy.
I like Marshall. Marshall's at number 2 in the country right now. That's a pretty cool storyline.
Marshall
But
was
yeah,
one.
and then on the women's
I think it
soccer side, ACC still runs the show. They also have 5 in the top 10. And the women's top 25 is very interesting just because it's a lot more Power 5 dominant than the men's is. The men's has a lot of kind of mid-major schools in there that like compete at a very high level, whereas the women's is more so Power 4 dominant, especially when you get into the tournament, unlike the men's is. And then I think Stanford's dominance in soccer is just kind of crazy. They're number 1 in both polls,
Not
which is
anymore.
very.
They both
Huh?
lost.
They, but yeah,
both
They're
Stanford
number
just
1.
lost.
They're number 1 in the polls still because the new one hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, it has. I'm looking at it.
No,
I'm
it
looking
didn't.
at it right
No,
now.
I'm pretty sure it hasn't. So that sucks.
You could just amend your statement if you wanted to.
No,
but
I'm
you
good.
don't have to.
They're,
Okay.
I mean, they're ranked. They're still both ranked in the top 10, but they both lost last week.
Actually, I will amend my statement because now Duke is second, so that's kind of fire.
They're getting a vote too.
No, but the other interesting, just last little bit about men's soccer that I found out like on Tuesday, because my dad was talking about it, is that the SEC does not have men's soccer.
No.
So
They
like
play-
the Sun Belt is like a power conference in men's soccer.
Yep.
South Carolina plays in the Sun Belt.
That's why
Like,
Marshall
also
Marshall
like
was
Marshall.
Nasty, bro.
Yeah, that's why they're a Sun Belt team and they're pretty good.
Marshall's
Like
good,
West Virginia's in the
ODU
Sun Belt for
good.
soccer.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
like-
ODU is very good.
But yeah, so I think that's kind of cool that the Sun Belt is like a power conference in men's soccer.
Yeah.
Like I just never would have guessed that.
But yeah, that's pretty fire. There's a lot of kind of sports, Olympic sports that I think are very cool that have like just like random conferences, unlike the big 3.
Yeah.
That I think are pretty cool. I think
They pick
lacrosse,
lacrosse,
yeah, like
like,
lacrosse
yeah.
is pretty fire. Outside the ACC, like the conferences are just all like mixed up.
The way lacrosse is structured too, in at least in college in the United States, a lot of like top end like college lacrosse recruits even end up playing for NCAA schools. Like most of them will end up at like an ACC school, but there's a good amount of guys that are really, really good high school lacrosse players that go play club lacrosse at an SEC school because it's an SEC school, and they end up going to play pro lacrosse after because that SEC club team is so good.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah, which I think is really, really cool for them because they kind of get the best of both worlds, being a fun time in an SEC school and getting to play professional sports.
Yeah. But yeah, we promised you some non-football talk this week. There it was.
We could talk about North Carolina being number 2 in the field hockey poll.
I'm not
Just
talking
had-
about field hockey.
Oh, yeah, I'd rather not.
No, I don't. I just wanted to throw that out there. Number 2 in the field hockey.
Still don't get that sport. Maybe I'll get it someday, but just not right now.
Okay. Well, I guess
Yeah.
y'all got your meeting, so that'll be it for the pod this
yeah.
week. We'll be back next week to kind of talk about what has happened this past week, get to know a little
Hopefully
bit more about these
some
teams.
Good ranked matchups.
Hopefully 3 ranked matchups this weekend. Hopefully some good games.
And maybe, just maybe, we could start getting into basketball
Yeah, we can start
a little early.
a little early, but we can start looking at some
I think
stuff.
there's just a couple of headlines here and there.
I mean,
Yeah.
you guys.
Clemson just accepted an invite to play in the
We don't
Maui
have to talk-
Invitational. Didn't know that was ever going to be possible.
Yeah.
Not this year, but next year.
Yep.
Didn't think we were ever going to have a decent enough basketball team to ever play in that tournament, but that's kind of
That
fun.
tournament is so fire, bro. Eating Thanksgiving. Something about eating Thanksgiving and watching Maui Invitational. It's fire. It's fire. But yeah.
We will see y'all next week on the pod.
All right.
All right. See ya.